You ever just like stop and think, what if, you know, what if you'd taken that different, made that other choice? We all have those little ghost lives running alongside ours, right? The ones we didn't pick. Well, imagine if every single one of those what ifs wasn't just a thought, but actually created a whole new reality. That's pretty much the territory Blake Crouch dives headfirst into with Dark Matter. It's this amazing reality-bending thriller.
Oh, absolutely. And if you've read Crouch before, maybe something like Recursion, you know you're in for a ride that messes with your head in the best way.
Exactly. So Dark Matter, at its heart, it's about this guy, Jason Dessen, who gets violently thrown between these alternate lives, and he's just fighting like hell to get back to his family, to his identity. So today, in this deep dive, we're going to unravel that central mystery. We'll get into the really heavy emotional stuff. Identity, love, ambition, regret, all of it. And explore those big philosophical questions the whole multiverse idea brings up. Think of it as a mind-bending journey, but one with a real human core. Okay, so let's paint the picture. We first meet Jason Dessen, and he's not like some high-flying scientist initially. He's a college physics professor in Chicago. Pretty normal guy.
Yeah, very relatable. He's got a life that seems comfortable. He's married to Daniela, who's this artist, and they have a teenage son, Charlie. It's ordinary family life.
But there's this undercurrent, right? You feel it, this little flicker of what if about the big scientific career he's sort of sidelined for his family. That classic tug-of-war ambition versus contentment.
And setting him up like that, so grounded and normal, is really key. Crouch makes sure we connect with this Jason, this life, before everything just gets ripped apart.
Yeah, it makes this situation feel so much more real. We get that internal conflict because, let's be honest, who hasn't wondered about the roads not taken? It makes him instantly someone you root for.
Exactly. You understand his choices, even the quiet regrets, maybe.
And then, bam, that quiet life just implodes. One night, he's heading home, maybe had a drink with an old buddy, and suddenly he's abducted. Masked guy, gunpoint, gets injected with some unknown drug.
Just like that. His entire reality flips.
He wakes up, and this is where it gets really wild. He's still in Chicago. It looks like Chicago, but it feels off, terribly wrong. There's no Daniela, no Charlie. His home isn't his home. Worse. In this world, he's some kind of celebrated science superstar, the guy who cracked something huge.
It's such a chilling concept. Not just being lost, but finding out your entire life, the people who define you, just don't exist in this reality. It's a direct hit on his sense of self.
Totally. Who is he if his wife and son aren't there? If his memories don't match this world? It's pure psychological horror, almost.
Oh, absolutely. The disorientation, the desperation.
Yeah.
It's palpable.
And then the truth drops. It's a massive shocker. The masked abductor, it was another version of him. Jason 2, let's call him.
Right. A Jason who didn't choose family. He went all in on the science, built this incredible machine, this box that can access other realities.
And this Jason 2, he envied our Jason's life, the family, the connection. So he used his machine to forcibly swap places with him. He stole Jason 1's life.
It's incredibly dark when you think about it. The envy, the desperation of Jason 2, what does it say about regret? How far would someone go to grab the life they think they should have had?
It's a terrifying thought.
And this is where Crouch brilliantly weaves in the science, specifically the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. Basically, the idea that every choice, every quantum event splits the universe, creating parallel realities where all outcomes happen.
So not just possibilities, but actual existing alternate worlds.
Exactly. And Crouch makes this really complex idea feel, well, immediate and personal, because it's the engine driving Jason's nightmare. It's not just theory, it's the trap he's caught in.
So faced with this impossible situation, Jason's goal becomes utterly clear, right? It's not about understanding the science anymore, it's primal.
Yeah, survival. And more than that,
Get back home. Get back to his Daniela, his Charlie. That love, that connection, it's the only thing anchoring him. It's his definition of self. And he'll literally cross universes to reclaim it.
that becomes his North Star through the whole chaotic journey. And the journey itself, Crouch uses the setting in such a cool way.
Right.
You could almost call it existential geography.
Existential geography. Okay, unpack that.
Well, as Jason uses the box to jump between realities, the different versions of Chicago he lands in aren't just random backdrops. They're like physical manifestations of different choices made along the way.
Ah, so one reality might be a paradise, another wasteland, depending on what choices led there.
Precisely. Some are subtly different, some are drastically altered. Maybe there was a pandemic or a technological leap or just personal choices rippling outwards. He's literally walking through the consequences of infinite what-ifs. It makes the theme of choice and regret feel incredibly tangible.
Wow. And he goes through so many, doesn't he? The book really puts you through the ringer with him, showing glimpses of lives wildly different from his own. Utopias,
Yeah,
dystopias.
it's relentless. And it highlights the sheer scale of possibility, but also the danger. It's not just a sightseeing tour, it's incredibly perilous.
And along the way, he meets Amanda, right? In one of these other worlds.
Yes, Amanda. She's a psychologist, works at the facility where that world's built. Jason built the box. She becomes this unexpected ally. She's smart, resourceful, and she believes him, helps him navigate.
She kind of represents another path, another possible connection for him in the chaos.
Absolutely. There's a bond that forms there under intense pressure.
Hmm.
But ultimately, Jason's focus remains unwavering. He has to leave her behind to continue his search for his family.
Which really underscores how powerful that original bond is for him.
Exactly. It reinforces that Danielle and Charlie aren't just a choice he made. They are the defining element of the self he's fighting to preserve.
And just when you think it can't get more complicated, it does. The stakes ramp up massively.
Oh yeah, it stops being just about finding the way back.
Because other Jasons start showing up. Versions of him from other realities who've also figured out the box, and guess what? They all want his original life too. The one with Daniela and Charlie.
It becomes this insane high-stakes chase, not just against the multiverse, but against himself. Multiple versions of him converging, all wanting the same prize.
How do you even fight that? How do you prove you're the real Jason?
Well, that's the core question, isn't it? What makes you the real you when infinite copies exist? Crouch suggests it's maybe less about some intrinsic original status and more about, well, the commitment, the fierce dedication to your chosen reality, your specific loves and memories.
So identity isn't fixed. It's something you actively fight for, something you choose over and over.
Kind of, yeah. It's a battle for selfhood itself, played out across dimensions. It's not just physical survival, it's existential.
Okay, so that's the incredible plot, but let's zoom out, like you said, and really dig into the themes Crouch is exploring here, because there's a lot beneath the surface of this thriller.
For sure, it's packed with ideas.
First, identity and selfhood. We've touched on it, but what really makes you you? Is it just your memories, your choices, the people you love? How much can that change before you're someone else, especially when you meet other versions of you?
Right. And encountering those other selves, it forces a kind of radical self-reflection, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you see the you who made different choices, does that solidify your own identity, or does it make it feel more fragile, more arbitrary?
It makes you think that maybe identity isn't just who you are, but who you insist on being, especially when faced with all the alternatives.
That's a great way to put it. It's an active process.
Which flows right into the next big theme, choices and regret. This whole book is like the ultimate road not taken story amplified by 1,000.
Oh, definitely. So holds up a mirror and asks, okay, if you could literally step into the life you think you missed out on, would you? And more importantly, what's the hidden cost of undoing those regrets?
Yeah, because Jason 2 thought he wanted Jason 1's life, but chasing that perfect alternative created its own kind of hell, didn't it?
Exactly. It explores the idea that maybe chasing the ghost of what might have been can blind you to the actual value of the life you did build, imperfections and all. Contentment, the book seems to argue, isn't just settling. It's often a hard-won perspective.
And holding it all together, the real anchor in all this mind-bending sci-fi is love and family.
Absolutely. It's the emotional core. Despite the quantum physics and parallel worlds, Jason's motivation is pure, unwavering love for Daniela and Charlie. That's what makes the story so resonant.
It's not just an intellectual puzzle, it's deeply, deeply human. His family is his reason, his reality check.
And that's the genius of it, I think.
Yeah.
Connecting this really abstract, high-concept science to something so fundamental and relatable as love and family. It grounds the extraordinary in the ordinary. It makes you care.
Yeah, definitely. And finally, there's that theme we started with, ambition versus contentment. Jason's initial choice family over potentially world-changing science is put to the ultimate test.
Right. Is success measured by external achievements, fame, discovery, or is it found in the quieter, perhaps messier reality of relationships and personal fulfillment?
And the book doesn't necessarily give an easy answer, but it forces you, the reader, to think about your own definition of a successful life.
Exactly. It uses this wild sci-fi setup to explore a very down-to-earth human dilemma. The grass might look greener in another universe, but is it really?
So how does Crouch make all this work so well on the page? His writing style is key, right?
Oh, hugely. It's very distinctive. Super fast-paced, almost relentlessly so. Very cinematic.
Yeah, you can totally see it playing out like a movie. Short chapters, often ending on these killer cliffhangers that just compel you to keep reading.
And the prose itself is quite minimalist, very direct. Lots of focus on Jason's internal thoughts,
Mhm.
his panic, his determination. It really immerses you in his headspace.
You feel like you're right there with him, scrambling through realities.
You do.
Yeah.
And that style, it perfectly blends that constant sense of, like, existential dread with
Mhm.
this really urgent forward momentum. It mirrors his journey, desperate, emotional, always moving.
And he sometimes uses that second person you, doesn't he? Those moments really hit hard.
Oh, yeah, like, you are not the man who has everything. You are the man who has nothing. It just drops you right into Jason's shoes, makes the existential stakes feel incredibly personal.
It's no wonder the book was such a hit then. Huge bestseller, critical acclaim.
Right. People really responded to that mix, the high concept thrills and the genuine emotional depth. It got comparisons to Michael Crichton for the pacing and science, maybe Philip K. Dick for the reality-bending ideas.
And it's being adapted, right? I think as a series.
Yeah, the Apple TV Plus series,
Yeah.
which makes total sense. It's inherently visual, and the story has that addictive quality.
Definitely. It's that combination, tight plot, big ideas, real heart that makes it stick with you.
Couldn't agree more. It manages to be both a thrilling page-turner and something that genuinely makes you think.
So wrapping up our deep dive here, Dark Matter is just this fantastic blend of, wow, huge scientific ideas and really raw human feeling. It asks these massive questions about reality, who we are.
But it grounds it all in this incredibly relatable story
Mm.
about love, loss, and fighting for what matters most. It really resonates if you've ever found yourself just wondering, what if?
Yeah, and it leaves you chewing on something afterwards, doesn't it?
Definitely. Here's a thought to take away. If you somehow knew about all the other lives you could be living, all the different outcomes of your choices playing out in the multiverse,
Mm.
would that knowledge make you happier with the life you have?
Oof. Or would just knowing about those other paths, those other yous, become its own kind of burden? A new flavor of regret, maybe?
Exactly. Would ignorance be bliss, or would knowledge be power? It's a tricky one.
Something to mull over. We really recommend you pick up Dark Matter if you haven't already. Experience this wild, emotional, thought-provoking ride for yourself.
Absolutely. It's a perfect example of how the best science fiction isn't just about imagining other worlds. It's about understanding our own world and ourselves a little bit better.